All right, guys, we're here with our second semi-finals of an IEM Katowice. It's the World Championship, and down here we have NC Sports Serral, Finnish beast monster, but he's up against the guy who is a three-time world champion. Well, you could argue two-time, since one of the Katowices he won was not actually the... Actually, wait, both the Katowices he won weren't really the main world championship, but, well, they were still world championships. I'm going to count it. 3 times world champion Rogue. One of the most successful players, especially when it comes to big, huge events. No one can contest Rogue, really. I mean, SOS definitely did win 2 BlizzCons in a Katowice, whereas Rogue won 1 BlizzCon and 2 Katowices. But Rogue's also won a couple of GSLs. I don't know if SOS ever managed to win a GSL. And of course, SOS, I mean, basically since Legacy of the Void has not really been super relevant as a top tier player. I don't know if he's ever made it to a top 8 of GSL, maybe once. I feel like round of 16 of GSL already has been a bit of an achievement for him in the last 4, 5, 6 years of StarCraft 2, whereas Rogue has been constantly a contender to win the whole thing and a regular champion himself. And we do have Double Queen on the way for Serral. Serral, of course, the 2018 BlizzCon champion. Rogue, the 2017 champion. Rogue then won Katowice in 2018 and 2020. He has a GSL title in 2020. GSL title in 2019. I believe. I think he's made it very close. Actually, does he have 3 GSL titles, I think, maybe? Man, he's got too many to count. That's my point. My point is this is a big match. We're back at a live tournament. This is when the players, of course, are playing in Poland at Katowice, and it's so cool to have them actually going head-to-head once more. Now, interestingly, Rogue and Serral both going for that quick third base. They've both started Ling Speed, and they've both pulled 1 worker off gas, so 2 out of 3 on the gas geysers. And you can see the Queen already moving over to the third to deflect these Zerglings, and 4 more Lings on the way for Serral, which tells us he might be a little more aggressive in the follow-up. Does drop a Baneling Nest. And those Zerglings just going to chip away at the hatchery on both sides, but neither one wants to give the Zerglings up. All right, so this is really cool because this is Zerg vs. Zerg. For those who don't know, they have really traded series back and forth. But this series comes off the back of a devastating victory in the TSL Grand Finals between Rogue and Serral. Serral has never been embarrassed as much as he was in that Grand Finals. He got taken out in the quickest and most one-sided fashion we have ever seen. It was a 3-1 scoreline. There was a 1-0 lead already for Rogue, but it was over in 15 minutes. I am not kidding. We've never seen that happen before. Serral is one of the greatest players of all time, and Rogue made him look silly. He did a lot of all-in attacks. Serral made a lot of small mistakes, and it was just a Rogue cheese masterclass. It was very well done by him, and definitely a nasty situation. So Serral's going to be on his toes, looking to catch this out. I know he's been studying a lot of Rogue's play, really studying that Korean meta, watching a lot of his matchups versus Dark, as well as some of the other players like Solar, who did 2-0 Rogue earlier on. And so far, both players playing very safe. Roach Warren +1 do go down there, +1 range for Serral. Second and third gas, and a Roach Warren there for Rogue as well. So, only difference so far is you've got 2 gases for Serral, 3 gases for Rogue. Interesting that he gets the third gas as early as he does. Normally you do want to... Whoa, sorry guys. Apologies, just scrolling on the edge of the screen like a donkey there. Is that a fake lair? He started the lair when the Lings came in. So as I said, you want to saturate your third mineral line, and because he's skipping a gas, Serral, he's just playing 2 gas, you can see his third has a couple more workers on it. It's not a big difference just yet, as they are still pretty much tied up. And you can see, check out the vision for both players. So this is Rogue's vision. He can see right outside the base anything that moves out, and Serral, same thing. Overlord's watching all the exits to the base, but as this Queen pushes it out, Lings could flood out that right side, and Serral would not see it coming, so he does have to be a little careful. He's going to send a Zergling in to confirm, though, what's going on behind it. Lots of Lings, and he does see a handful of drones on that base, more drones popping out, a big indication that his opponent's being defensive. And guess what, guys? Serral has actually gone for a 7 Roach pressure here. It is, oh my god, this is very similar to what we saw Raynor using versus Dark. It's almost a fake out. It's a light pressure. It's 7 Roaches, 20 Zerglings, a bunch of Banelings. Is it sharp? Yes. Does it hit a good timing? Yes, but he's not rallying. spying. He's droning behind it. So he's actually not looking for a kill. He's looking for damage. Now, Rogue, though, he's been up a handful of workers. He's building 2 spines right behind the mineral line, nestled in there. He now cancels those spines, realizing this is not being rallied, and he knows that because he sees no lings rallying under the overlords. So he cancels the spines at the last second. He has made 10 banelings, which is probably a little bit of overkill there. And no roach speed for either player just yet. Definitely something you do want to think about getting. And Rogue, he's chasing really far right now. This might be too far. If he gets surrounded by lings, that could be deadly. Spire goes down. Okay. Rogue here wanting to get rid of the symmetry in this matchup. Get the mutas out. Muta versus Roach going to create a more dynamic situation. And a little bit more movement and change-ups in how that goes. Serral on the other side just looking like he is stock standard. Fully saturating his bases. And we do expect +2 range to kick in the near future. There we go. Almost identical timing for both players. Zerglings there going to go after these banelings, start trying to pick them off one by one. And Overlord speed does start up for Serral. I would like to see him make an Overseer and get in there and start scouting right now. Because as long as he doesn't have that Overseer, doesn't know about the Spire, he's going to struggle. Okay, Zerglings just chasing Rogue Zerglings across the map. Oh, the Overseer already went in? Oh, but he didn't see anything. And he's queuing it around. It will see the Spire, but only after it's finished. This is not good for Serral. Serral scouting this very late. He does have a good drone count at 66, but he's got to watch out. Oh my god, he runs right past the banelings, but doesn't get caught. Roaches will take out these Zerglings. Yeah, they're all going to go down. Only 2 Zerglings left. They will fall. Banelings could click on that hatchery, but no, it's a bit too healthy. And oh no! Oh no! Serral, watch out, bro! Watch out, bro! Oh my god! Oh my! Ow! Yup! Okay, that could have been worse. 6 drones do go down. Still a bit of mining time. Still a bit of frustration. Serral does see the Spire behind this. He starts a carapace upgrade on his 2nd Evo chamber, and he starts making 3 queens. Queens will allow him to lock things down on the defense. Now, Rogue is just building 8 mutas. 8 mutas back into mass roach. It's just going to be a big old roach attack. Very focused on the ground style behind this. Serral loading up a drop. He's going to try and go around the edge of the map, all the way up to the main, and then he's going to drop the banelings behind. Lings try to do a run by. Roaches of Rogue shut it down. The Muta's now going to clear up the map vision. They will start getting the Overlords. The Spore has not built on that 4th base yet. There's only 6 queens out. They can definitely take on these Mutalisks if they get together, but they're not together yet. No transfuses. Okay, he gets transfuse energy, but it's a second too late. And where is it? He misses the transfuse. Serral, uncharacteristic for him, does get 1 Mutalisk down for those 2 queens, so it's not completely too bad. 2 Mutalisks, in fact, went down there. Nidus Worm behind this. Oh, Rogue! He's done this before. Guys, Rogue, what he does is he clears up any Overlords here, pushes them back, and then he drops the Nidus there as his Mutas lead the Queens and Roaches out to the 3rd base. This is a beautiful move by Rogue. It's so annoying because when you're playing against Mutas, you don't expect a Nidus Worm because they've spent so much gas on the Mutas, and you definitely do not expect them to be doing it in the corner of your main where you do not have any vision. Look at that. He sends 1 Mutalisk back. The other Muta split off. Now, that's a little bit of a tell. If Serral's really smart, he's like, hey, where'd that other Muta go? But I doubt he realizes. And indeed, he doesn't seem to. Drone's caught out in the open right now. Roach count is in the lead massively for Rogue. Rogue has got so many roaches. A lot more roaches are spilling out for Serral right now, but they're not ready. And there we go. The surprise Nidus Worm in the main. This is a dirty style. Roach is trying to get back up the ramp, but Rogue's already got position on top of this ramp. Now he doesn't. It takes a while to unload. He has 50 roaches in that Nidus, and because of the biles, he is able to push back Rogue's concave, allows his roaches to move on up. Serral, he's got to move these queens up. Transfuses starting to come down. A few more transfuses. Yep, transfuses landing across these roaches. Extra hit points going down. The band-aids furiously keeping Serral alive here against this surprise Nidus Worm, and it looks like even with Rogue's roaches focusing the Ravagers down, that fight is a hold, and you can see in the units lost tab, that's very good for Serral. He does staunch that flow of roaches. Another Nidus Worm goes up in the bottom. Baneling drop comes in, doesn't find anything. All the Mutas died as well, so he's given up his control on that. Zergling's ready for a bit of a run by, could do some damage. Nidus Worm in the bottom does go up. Not really popping any roaches out. These are more just to get a bit of fear and distraction going, I believe. And Tunneling Claws and and Burrow, as well as +1 Carapace, are on the way. A random Infester being built there for Serral. Not sure that's on purpose. I think that's a misclick, honestly. He's very gas-starved, so it makes very little sense to build an Infester against a guy who's already thrown his Mutas away. And there we go. Nidus Worm does fall. Baneling drop. He's still looking for the juicy Bane hits. Still looking for it. Oh, okay. He's doing a bit of a spready on the drones, is Rogue. Well defended. Really well defended. He should have gone for the gas there. But look at that. Yeah, only gets 3 drones. Very well defended by Rogue. Goes back to mining. Rogue does have his 4th established. He's taking the extra gases there. Serral, he's up on his 7th gas. Probably needs his 8th one as well. Hydroden on the way for Serral. I find it peculiar that neither player's going Infestation Pit just yet. I think for Rogue, after losing that previous fight, it makes a bit more sense for him to stay on Roaches for a while. But man, I'll tell you what, it is hard to break any Grandmaster Zerg in Roach Wars in 2022. People are so good at just defending, surviving, blocking you, keeping that 4th base up. You got to take into account, this is not any Zerg. This is not a Grandmaster Zerg. This is Serral. He is so good at just locking things down and defending, so it's even more annoying playing against him. And indeed, he did get an Infestation Pit because he's building a hive. Where is that? There it is. Infestation Pit behind the base. He's also got +2 carapace beyond halfway done. So he's going to go for those lurkers in the near future. And he's got an Overseer hanging out. Infestation Pit does go down for Rogue. Rogue feels like he's a little behind, and I think because of that, he's just going to try and rush to Vipers, maybe get over there with some Roaches, but he shows his Roaches with Tunneling Claws. A big mistake. There wasn't that many Overseers out there. There was one on the left, but there wasn't one on the right. And now he shows the Tunneling Claws. That's not going to be a surprise at all. Even if it was, it would have been hard to find an angle in. He's got a good pack of Ravagers. 9 Ravagers in the back. That's some really decent battlefield artillery. Overseer on the left side goes down. Roach's Ravagers are going to try and move over to this left. Fungal could be big here to try and slow this. Does get a pretty good Fungal in the middle of the line. The Ravagers a little slow for Serral to get in there. And he's just moving right up into the guts of Rogue, taking that fight head on man mode. And guys, I don't think Rogue's whole army was here, was it? Yeah, he's actually just unloaded 4 Roaches in the main. I don't know if that was his whole army. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Units lost tab still looking good for Serral, but not that big a difference from what it was earlier in this game. Roaches unburrowing in the main to try and defend for Serral. He's been burrowing them to try and heal them up. At the same time, the Roach Ravager trying to surprise him at the 4th, but the Spine Crawler, the Hydras, the Ravagers anchor that position. And this is a mistake now for Rogue to keep rallying out here. 1 Ravager and a few Burrow Boys do end up hiding. Still just Roaches and Ravagers. The Hive is on the way, but we've already got the Lurker upgrades starting for Serral. Serral, he's got those Lurker upgrades, those Hydra upgrades coming. He's got a nice distraction here, is Rogue. Pulls the Roaches and the Ravagers down, tries to pull him out of position. Army at the front looking for a decent fight. Serral runs forward, sees, oh, this is a little scary right now. But there are 2 Spine Crawlers that are anchoring this position, and they really add a lot of damage and tankiness. Great pullback by Serral, and I think this is a better fight for him than Rogue. The Biles break Rogue's line, force him to pull back. Rogue setting up a fantastic concave. Serral does dodge that Bile, but this is still so close on both sides. The Nidus has been cleaned up in the main. It looks like Serral, he snuck 2 Lurkers into the bases. He snuck some Lurkers in. If he defends this attack, Rogue's economy has been butchered behind this. He does defend it, and with a Lurker in 2 of his mineral lines. Oh my god, I don't even know how they got across the map, but Serral takes the first map. Alright guys, going into game 2, a solid game from the young Finn, Serral. 23 years young and already about $1 million of prize money earned at this point. In the semi-finals, I think by getting there, he's won 40,000, I think. So I think he's already locked in enough money to go up to like 1,050,000 at this point of the tournament. And if he wins the finals, then he'll be able to get, I don't know what the second place money is, but I know the first place is 170 grand, which would put him at 1.15 million prize money in. Oh my god, his opponent, Rogue, in the bottom left side, is going straight for the gold base. Now, I was actually talking to Serral on our shuttle from Krakow airport into Katowice, and I was like, dude, I was watching Rogue playing versus a laser on this map. He did a gold base first, and then he went muters on 3 base, and it was the silliest thing I've ever seen, and it was so bad. And Serral was kind of saying it's not that bad, you know, I think if you can get away with it, because you know that they're going to do this style, it could work. And he was making excuses, but I think by the end of the conversation, I convinced him that Rogue is a disgusting gambler who plays some silly gold-based build maps. Like, I think a lot of the players have their gold-based builds down, but Rogue's builds on these maps sometimes do look a little oddball. So I wonder, I would imagine he's doing something different. It's been a full month from last chance to this tournament. I doubt he does the same build order, but definitely something you got to keep your eye on. Now, Serral going for a normie hatch. We have seen a very common theme. Serral, Lambo, a lot of the EU guys, what do? Wall off, Evo, Roach Warren, get Roach Speed, get +1. Run across, deny the minerals with your first 5 to 8 roaches. So you deny their mining, and then you group up at the front for a big push. Now, if you do the Lambo build, which Lambo actually did to Serral on this map against Serral's gold base, so Serral was in Rogue's position, you actually bring 2 queens across the map, because I think you do 4 queen build, so you maybe kill an overlord with the queens so they don't actually see how many roaches are coming and stuff, so it's more of a surprise, but you also get across and you have a lot of transfuse energy, and then as you push in, you have like all these transfuses. Now, Lambo spoke about how he really messed up. He accidentally got his queens in front of his army and they all died before a single transfuse went off when he fought Serral. He should have broken Serral when he was doing that build order, but he messed it up. And then he also walked into his own corrosive biles. He was not happy with it. Now, notice these 2 Zerglings are really powerful, because just the fact that Rogue has seen 2 Zerglings leave Serral's base, he's got to go a Baneling Nest. If he doesn't go a Baneling Nest, these could be up here morphing into Banelings anywhere in this north side of the map. He has no idea where, and they could be running in and just trying to kill him. Rogue, though, it's 3 minutes. He has not made a Baneling Nest because he is a greedy psychopath. Thank you very much for the love there. We're going to give a shout out to that tip in just a moment. I thought I had those alert sounds off. That's a very late Baneling Nest, guys. 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and then he goes Evo Chamber. Oh my god, Rogue is such a gambler. I told him that if Rogue is so greedy and he dies to so many attacks, he's such a gambler. But Rogue, he's just like, nah, I don't think you're going Ling Speed. He has no confirmation on that, but just seeing 2 queens at the front earlier with his Zerglings was enough for him to make the read. Rogue was like, nah, I'm pretty sure you're not going to make Ling Speed. I think you're just playing a gasless build, and I'm just going to skip the Baneling Nest, go straight Evo. But strangely enough, he's massing Zerglings. The quick third hatch, skipping the Baneling Nest, the greed makes perfect sense. The Zerglings makes no sense at all. You know you're playing against a guy who's going to wall off if you assume he's skipping Ling Speed. Or did he not realize? Did he think he was against a Ling Speed opening and he's building Speedlings to match what he thought was going to be an incoming Speedling pressure? Did Rogue massively misread this game? Maybe I was giving him props for reading it correctly. This is a terrible assault for him. He's just throwing Zerglings away for no reason. He might get 1 queen, but he's built so many Zerglings. Look at the worker count. He's down 13 workers. He was down 18 workers when that push started. This was a terrible move for Rogue, who's now going carapace from infinitely behind. It doesn't matter that he has a gold base, guys. His income is in the dumps. Serral, look at this income advantage on the income graph. And it's just going to, I mean, this is huge. Rogue now is trying to catch up on workers at a point where Roach Speed and +1 are already underway. Serral can do nothing but build roaches from here, and then he can move across the map and kill him. I don't see any way Rogue defends this. I do not know what Rogue was thinking with these Zerglings. I always talk about Rogue as being one of the best planners, a player who understands how his opponents think. He studies their build orders. I, looking at the opening, knew exactly what Serral was going to do. I do not know if Rogue either didn't know or he had a really dumb plan. And I don't know which one it is, because Rogue is so confusing to me. Because sometimes he's genius and he kills his opponent and he makes them look bad, and other times he does things that make no sense. And in this case, building 30 Zerglings this game, throwing 10 of them away, the other 15 just hanging at the front, so it was 25 Zerglings, which put him down 12 workers. He could have simply droned up the 3 hatcheries, skipped the Baneling Nest, and had a very clean path to victory using that gold-based mineral advantage. As it is, Serral is now moving out with those queens that we talked about. He's already pooping creep. Queens are going to push back the overlords. The roaches are going to run up, deny that gold base. Which means he's going to have to pull back to these other 2 bases. He's gone to 50 workers. He's going to try and do a Ling backstab. Rogue's got to buy himself some time. He's into roach production right now. He doesn't have any Evo chamber upgrades, just the carapace, which is not as good as the range and roach battles. And he's got to find a way to just get enough units out to defend. But here we go. First damage comes in. He does immediately pull away, which is very nice for Rogue. Pull back, and he'll just be mining 2 full bases plus a gas on the gold. He's going to mass his own roaches. Can he match the number? He's got 12 roaches right now versus 22. That's not a good numbers position, especially because we're going to have 4 transfusers joining up with this army. This is exactly the push that Lambo used on Serral in the next tournament. This is actually a huge problem for Rogue. Rogue tries to buy time, doesn't find anything just yet. Those Lings, he doesn't want to just throw them away and make things simple for Serral. He wants to keep giving him something to worry about. He hasn't found it just yet. 2 more drones rally to the gold. Not a good idea. Those roaches do take them down very handily. ZvZ sees this army setting up. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 transfusers ready. Think it might be go time. Roach speed is almost done for Rogue, but guess what? 1 upgrades. Packer, roaches, and ravages. The queens are up front. He's making the Lambo mistake. 1 queen goes down without a transfuse. Another queen falls without a transfuse. Serral chucks a Lambo and does unfortunately mess up the start of this push, but he might just have the numbers anyway. Nice positioning by Rogue. He's pulled all of his queens, every unit. The Lings come in from behind, but he just cannot hold it. And Rogue, I got to go back in this replay, guys. I hate to break the immersion and not go straight in again. What was he thinking with those Zerglings? I cannot for the life of me understand what his goal was. It has to be him thinking that Serral was going to Baneling pressure him. Let's take a look. If we look at his vision with these Zerglings, what does he see at the front? Because this is his only information. He sees no gold base. We're on Rogue's vision, so I apologize if it's a little bit... And then he's like, okay, yep, let's build a Baneling nest. And then he's like, wait, no, actually, let's not. Let's build an Evo chamber. Is he making this up on the fly, or was that just a button misclick? Maybe, I'm not sure. And he doesn't see anything. He sees absolutely nothing. And he just says, let's build 20 Zerglings. Now, the reason this would make sense is if he thinks Serral is going to attack him with Lingbane, right? Big 2 base Lingbane attack, then guess what, guys? He could defend with Queens and Speedlings and do a lot of running around the Banelings. Problem, Serral could have hidden his Zerglings out here and been morphing Banelings, number one. Number two, Serral, if he was going to do it, would have done it off 19 workers. He would have already been flooding across with Massling Bane right now. There's no way these Zerglings would be in time. You would lose this gold base and every worker on it. So I am really surprised looking at this, at what Rogue's plan is. Why is he building so many Zerglings against a player who is known, and the European scene in general is known for doing this wall off? These Speedlings are not a good counter to a Lingbane all-in. They're terrible against a wall off. And so I flounder to understand what they are good against. Does he think Serral was just going to take a third? Is that what he thought? Did he think Serral was just going to take a normal third or the gold as a third? And these are to deny that? I mean, this is just such a big worker deficit so early in the game. It's defended by Queens and an Evo chamber that were already out. Literally, what reaction does this get out of Serral? Nothing. Serral is holding his drone key down. He builds one Evo chamber. That is the only change to his build order here. This is an unmitigated disaster for Rogue, and you'd need to speak to the man himself to understand why. I, as an expert analyst, have no idea what he was thinking with this Speedling build. Serral shuts it down and gets an easy victory. All right, a very confusing strategy in that last game puts him in dire straits. He's now down 0-2, and this is very hard to bring yourself back. 3 games in a row are going to be needed against Serral. This is Rogue. In the bottom left, representing Dragons, Phoenixes, and Gaming. And his opponent in the top right, NC Sports, Serral. We'll find out in a moment. Looks like, yep, hatchery first for both players. Rogue may have sent us down a second late. Does get that hatchery down. Still on 47, 48 seconds. Not too bad. So we are going to see hatch gas pool on 2,000 atmospheres. For those who don't know, this match, or map, sorry, it is on the bottom of the ocean. That's right, we've got fishies. Little fishies there swimming around. There's a lot of underwater Zerg tentacles and stuff. Beautiful little glowy flowery things. If you go to the center of the map, especially pretty there with this nice under seaweed stuff on the side of the bridges. You've got this kind of thick watery pools there coming up from the depths. I mean, even though the whole map's kind of underwater, there's more water here? I don't know. Don't ask me to explain it. Some little Protoss crystals around. It is a very beautiful map. One of our favorites as the units will fly upwards as they do it. Apparently these are brine pools filled with salt, and that is why Florencio does really enjoy this map, apparently. Very good map to hide a corner base on. Not too many people checking these corners early on. Not something you see at the highest level that often. You guys know what I mean, though, right? It's like extra watery here. You know, you can see bubbles and you can see the water, but like over here, it doesn't look that watery. It's like, this is like it just invisible water, and that's like watery water, you know? I swear, I'm not crazy, guys. I swear. I swear. Ugh. So we've got double queens on the way, ling speed for both sides. Rogue does pull off gas. Serral also pulls off gas. Mirrored build so far, 2 lings going to either side. And I think the triangle third is the favored one in this matchup. Drones going down. This is a true mirror build. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the finest Zerg of them all? That's what we're going to be asking here in game 3. Serral says it's me. I want that 3rd game in a row. He's prepared fantastically. He's played fantastically so far And he does have a Zerg to finish off here. Of course, he's got a very powerful player waiting for him in the grand finals. He's got to win this match to get there. Huge amounts of money, that big world championship trophy, the chance to stand on the stage and hold it up in front of the pyrotechnics and explosions and all the rest of it. Zerglings of Rogue, thinking about going in, doesn't want to sack him though. 12 Zerglings on the way for Serral. His Baneling Nest is a little quicker now. Something I've noticed with Rogue, guys, is he does delay his Baneling Nest a lot. 25 seconds ago, he put that one down. So you can see he gets it after 2 minutes 50, about 2:53, which is not too slow. And he does have a decently timed creep tumor, so he's actually safer than Serral in that regard. But Serral is building more Zerglings. 18 Lings going to flood across this map. Rogue, where are your Zerglings? He needs to make Banelings right now, dude. Where are your Banelings? He's slow to make him. Real slow response from Rogue. I'm not sure if that's because the Baneling Nest was not quite finished, but he's got to get these Banelings out there right now. He's got to defend that base. He's got to get over to the third. It's already taken a third of its hit points. The Zerglings are going ham on it. Banelings of Serral joining in. Blows up the 2 Zerglings there just to keep that damage output up. Even clicks the extra Baneling. And he gets the hatch snipe. And Rogue, such a simple thing to make a mistake against, but the Baneling Nest late by a few seconds, a little slow on the morph as well. Does counterattack with some Banelings, but he only gets 3 worker kills, and that does put him down 4 workers, and most importantly, down a base. Dude, you gotta go out there and take a base. He's not retaking his third. Rogue! Not even sending a drone to his third. I mean, okay, he's looking for counter damage, which is definitely justified, but you should be taking a third at the same time. I get that he's broke right now. He's building Overlords and a Roach Horn. Looks like Rogue's going to try and do a 2-base Roach attack to get back into this. Serral, though, is deflecting the Ling Bane just so easily. The Overlords are being pushed back. The Queen's pushing the Banelings back on the left side. They're going to think about coming back in, but the Queens are still ready. And Carapace going down in 2 more drones. What are you doing? This third is so late. Rogue is so late on that third. You cannot be one-dimensional against Serral. You have to move forward in many areas at once. If you put yourself in a corner on 2-base like he is now, building roaches of all things, then I really think you're in a tough position. I think he's got to finish droning this natural. And if he's going Carapace, it's going to be minutes until he can attack. A full 2 minutes till that upgrade kicks in. He's got to wait for that, and that means... Oh, no! It means droning and getting his third up, but he's not doing that. And Rogue with such a late third and it getting cancelled, this makes it so obvious what you're doing. Serral's like, hey, that third was late. Now I've cancelled it. Well, you're stuck on 2-base. Good chance you're going to do something aggressive because you can't drone your third right now. You don't have that much production. And yes, he's hiding Roach as well. Yes, Rogue's preparing for it. But look at Serral. He's like, dude, you're only on 2 bases. I'm just going to make my own Roach Carapace timing. I'm doing the same plan as you, just a little bit later with an extra hatchery. And this is such a safe way to play for Serral, because not only would it kill Rogue if he was being greedy, but it also happens to be perfect at blocking the same build order. He's like, oh, I'm doing the same thing as you, I'm just ahead? Of course this is a good idea. Rogue's going to move out, go, surprise, I've been banking up 15, 18 roaches, yeah! Which is a really good surprise all in. This would catch Serral if Serral was droning up really hard and making a lair and making 2 Evo chambers. Serral is not doing that. Look, Serral's moving out with his attack. The only danger here is if Rogue hides his roaches and somehow sandwiches Serral's roaches from behind so they can't run away, that would be the play. He does have an earlier Carapace. He's got a lot of roaches up here. He's making ravages. Notice he's trying to only show a handful of roaches right now. He's trying to still hide the all-in. Rogue is so all-in. He realizes that his hopes right now are based on the bit of a coin flip. You know, he's like, please don't realize what I'm doing. I'll hopefully run away. And then I'll show my roaches at the last second. So he's trying to get Serral to overcommit. He's trying to get Serral to overcommit. And he's going for it. Okay, he's going to jump on top. Serral needs to run home right now. And that's a very quick call for Serral. Serral just gets out of dodge. He's like, no, get out of here. The Ravagers will chase down a few of his roaches, but he sends some Zerglings, sees no drones on the third, and immediately Serral's like, okay, buddy. Let's wait for Carapace to kick in. Start +1. Start a lair. Keep making roaches and get home. And he will lose 2 roaches on the way home. The Ravagers, of course, being much faster. But I don't think that's too bad. His Lings are going to run into those roaches. He's going to get sandwiched. Uh-oh. Sandwiched on the bridge. Ow. 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 Zerglings are going to run away for now. Roach count very even. And Serral still up 7 workers. That third hatchery still mining with a gas and a handful of drones on the minerals. Rogue coming across with what is a desperate, mass slow roach attack. 25 roaches. But Serral, by preserving his roaches and running home, by not overcommitting to that attack, he has kept his numbers alive. The Lings are intercepting the rally back there. They're going to come in behind the final arm, holding Rogue in position while Rogue stomps while Serral stomps on Rogue's face, and Rogue, his units just get shut down there. And that is a beautiful hold by Serral. He follows up with an aggressive attack. It punishes the potential greedy play, but it also shuts down Rogue's all in preemptively. And Rogue, it was a last-ditch effort. It fails, and he is dead in the water. Mass Zergling being built behind this. Serral wants to counterattack. He cancelled his lair to make more Roaches and Ravagers. That's how much he respected this. How much he wanted to make more Roaches and Ravagers to survive. He now catches a queen on the retreat. Remember that Rogue does not have a lair. Rogue still is not using that third hatchery as anything but a production facility. And Rogue, I believe, is about to enter Dicktown. Serral, he's going to be taking him there in a decisive 3-0. He says, you may have embarrassed me the last time we played. Guess what? Let's turn the tables. This may not have been as quick and one-sided, but I'm still going to take you out. Rogue is not done yet, though. That is a massive Ling run by. The drones abandoning the base. He's got so many drones in the open. His Roaches are so far away on the other side of the map. The Lings take out all of his Lings and his Queens. Oh my god, he's got 2 full mineral lines exposed. Desperately spamming clicks to stack the drones in the corner so that the Lings can't find them. It buys time. His Lings get back here. He has still lost next to no workers. These drones go back to mining while the Zerglings are still there. They hold up their middle finger over their shoulder and they say, oh, sorry, dickhead, did you want to kill some of us? Most of these, remember, 3 drones died to 2 Banelings at the start of this game. He's only lost 2 drones since then. I think he lost 1 drone in that fight. Otherwise, we would have had the number pop up on the side of the screen that said drones. If it's only 1 drone, that number doesn't pop up. And that's why I think only 1 drone died to that Ling run by. Serral right now is like, who's embarrassing who, dickhead? And you know Serral talks like that. He's basically, if you guys could speak Finnish, trust me, in his native tongue, he sounds like a massive bogan. He's constantly just smashing back beers, talking shit on his opponents. He's just a bit of a bogan, man. He's a little rough around the edges. It's not everyone's flavor, but I support him in it. You know, you got to have a bit of attitude. This guy shat on you last time. It's your turn to fight back. The Roach Ravager defends the third base. He's shoving down the right side at the same time. Rogue is, I said it was the last ditch effort. Apparently Rogue has many ditches, guys. So he's somehow got an army together. The supply vaguely similar, but I do have to point out the fact that he is vastly outnumbered. And he's on the offense, which means the defender's advantage is there. Serral, Bile Dodger, master of dodging the Biles, the Lings, the Roaches, the Ravagers surround. And it looks like this is going to be the end for Rogue in Katowice. 3-0 goes down. Serral, what an absolute monster and what momentum going into the grand finals. 3-0 over Rogue. A lot of people thought Rogue was the favorite to win this. They thought there's no way. You got to look at their head-to-head. Serral got dominated last time. Well, this is a different Serral. This is the Serral who steps it up a notch at live tournaments. He goes straight through to the grand finals. Heck yeah, well played, Serral.